All right, so we're diving deep into Italian opera today, but more specifically, we're focusing on two composers you want to know more about, Giuseppe Verdi and Giacomo Puccini.
Awesome.
And you even gave us a podcast episode that got you thinking about these guys.
Yeah.
It's called Classical Crescendo, right?
That's the one.
They're kind of exploring Verdi and Puccini in that episode as well.
Yeah, they do a pretty good overview.
They do?
Yeah.
So it seems like you're looking to get a real feel for their music, like what was their impact, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool.
And to do that, I think it's helpful to kind of picture the world they were composing in.
Okay.
So, we're talking 19th century Italy.
Yeah.
And it was on fire with this this movement called the Risorgimento.
Risorgimento.
Yeah, which was basically the fight for a unified Italian nation.
Okay.
And this wave of nationalism, it wasn't just political.
Right.
It poured into the arts, too.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, opera, back then, it wasn't just some, like, niche thing for the elite.
No.
Like, it was the social event.
It was the event.
Yeah.
It's
Like, it's almost like a combination of, like, a blockbuster movie premiere and, like, a community gathering, you know?
Absolutely. Opera houses were buzzing with people
Yeah.
from every walk of life, every social class.
Okay, so that's kind of the scene.
Yeah.
But then the opera itself was changing.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Okay, how so?
So the older bel canto style,
Bel canto.
yes, which was all about beautiful singing and just
Right.
these, vocal fireworks,
Yeah.
was giving way to something called verismo. Verismo, yeah. And this was all about gritty realism, raw emotion,
Wow.
stories that really mirrored the hopes and anxieties of,
Like the average person.
the everyday person.
Okay, so it's getting more relatable.
Absolutely.
Okay.
More down to earth.
But, I mean, how did the music itself change?
Right. Good question.
It couldn't have just been about, the stories.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It was the music, too.
Okay.
So think of it this way. Bel canto was like
Okay.
like a perfectly manicured garden, right?
All right.
All elegance and precise technique.
Yeah.
But verismo was like a storm
Okay.
unleashing these, these intense emotions through bolder harmonies, maybe some jarring dissonances.
Right.
And it just had a different focus,
It was more about expressing.
Yeah, the raw human experience.
Okay.
And Verdi and Puccini, they were key figures in this shift.
Okay.
But they each brought their own,
Their own flavor.
their own distinct style to it.
Okay, let's unpack that a little.
All right.
Let's start with Verdi.
Sure.
So his story, it kind of feels like an opera itself.
It really does.
Like the innkeeper's son
Right.
becomes like a national icon.
Amazing story. Yeah. And I think, to understand Verdi's music, you really have to understand his life.
Okay.
I mean, his early life was marked by some incredible tragedies.
Yeah, like what kind of tragedies are we talking about?
Well, losing his wife
Oh, wow.
and 2 young children.
All very young, yeah.
So young.
That's
it's hard to imagine. And I think that depth of grief,
Yeah.
it's almost palpable in his music.
Oh, wow. So it like adds a...
Yeah, it has a weight,
Okay.
a sincerity that goes beyond just, notes on a page.
Okay, yeah.
And then Nabucco comes along.
The Bucco.
Yeah.
That was,
Kind of his breakthrough.
his breakthrough opera.
Yeah, and it's the story of enslaved Israelites
Okay.
yearning for freedom.
Got it.
And you have to remember, at this time,
Yeah.
Italians were fighting for their own unified nation, right?
Right.
So they heard this chorus, Va Pensiero,
Yeah.
and it just became
Like their anthem.
their unofficial anthem. It
Yeah.
resonated so deeply. There's a story about this connection between Verdi and the Italian spirit.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you were to shout Viva Verdi,
Okay.
you weren't just praising the composer.
Right.
It was code
Oh, wow.
for Viva Vittorio Emanuele Re d'Italia.
Which means...
Long live Victor Emmanuel,
Gotcha.
King of Italy.
Okay.
So it was like a hidden message.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, really powerful.
So Verdi wasn't just writing beautiful music.
Yeah,
He was like giving a voice
absolutely.
to this nation that was, yearning to be born.
Yeah, I mean, he was a symbol of the Italian spirit.
Wow, that's incredible.
But he also went deeper than that.
Okay.
He changed how characters were portrayed in opera.
Okay. In what way?
Take Rigoletto, for example.
Rigoletto.
He's not just an evil jester, right?
Right.
Verdi shows us his inner conflict, his struggles as a father.
Wow.
He's torn between protecting his daughter and serving the Duke.
Okay, so it's like his loyalties are divided.
It's this complexity, this exploration of the human psyche.
Right.
That makes him so fascinating.
Yeah.
And Verdi did this through the music.
Okay.
I mean, his vocal lines, his harmonies, everything was geared towards revealing these the inner workings of his characters.
So he was like a musical psychologist, kind of.
In a way, yes.
That's amazing.
And then, you have operas like Il Trovatore.
Okay.
The raw emotion in Di quella pira that aria.
Yeah.
It's not about hitting the high notes. It's about conveying this desperation to save his mother.
Okay.
And the way Verdi uses the orchestra. Yeah. These driving rhythms, the soaring vocal line.
So a building.
It builds to this incredible climax of emotion.
Wow.
So, he wasn't just pushing boundaries with his story. Right. He was using the music to delve deeper into these...
human emotions.
Yeah, the human experience.
Okay, so that's Verdi.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
He was like a revolutionary.
For sure.
Okay, so what about Puccini?
All right, Puccini.
He came from a very different background.
Very different.
Right.
Yeah, almost operatic royalty.
Compared to Verdi.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
A family of musicians in Lucca.
Right, yeah.
But while Verdi was shaking things up with this this dramatic power, Puccini was weaving magic with emotion.
Okay.
And his breakthrough...
Men on Lescaut.
Yeah. It really showed audiences what he could do.
Okay. How so?
He took that Verismo style and he just made it sing.
Okay. So how is his Verismo different from Verdi's?
That's a good question.
They both wanted to portray, raw emotion, but how did their music do this differently?
So Verdi's music, it was often structured and grand.
Okay.
Like a sweeping historical epic.
Got it.
But Puccini's music, it was all about immediacy.
Okay.
His melodies.
Yeah.
They were like a direct line to the heart.
Wow.
I mean, think about La Bohème.
La Bohème.
Okay.
And the aching beauty of Che gelida manina.
Che gelida manina. Or Mimi's aria, mi chiamano, Mimi. Like, these arias, they just tug at you.
Yeah.
They stay with you long after the curtain falls.
You mentioned that his melodies were like a direct line to the heart.
Yeah.
What specifically about his music makes it feel so personal?
Well, for one thing, he wasn't afraid to use dissonance.
Dissonance, which is these clashes of notes that create this sense of unease or yearning.
Okay.
And he also loved chromaticism, which is basically using notes that are outside of the usual scale.
Right.
And it creates this more fluid, almost yearning quality.
Yeah.
And these techniques, they just add this
layer of
emotional complexity that you don't always hear in Verdi.
Okay.
And then, he was just a genius with the orchestra. He uses it to paint these incredibly vivid soundscapes.
Right. That really enhanced the emotional drama on stage.
So it's like Puccini had his own toolbox.
Oh, yeah.
That he was bringing to this
absolutely
world of opera.
Yeah, he was a master
manipulator.
Yeah, manipulator
of emotions.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, so we have these two titans of Italian opera, both pushing boundaries, in their own ways.
Totally.
But both deeply rooted in like the Italian spirit.
The Italian soul, you can say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, how did their approaches differ when it came to storytelling?
Okay, so this is where their personalities really come through.
Okay.
Verdi was all about driving the drama forward.
Okay.
Sometimes, he would even cut out musical numbers if they slowed things down.
Wow, really?
He wanted the audience on the edge of their seats, feeling the intensity of the plot.
So he was like a film director, kind of.
Yeah, he had that sense of pacing and drama.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What about Puccini?
All right, so Puccini.
He's known for these beautiful melodies, emotional depth.
Totally.
But was he also concerned with keeping the audience on the edge of their seats?
He was, but in a different way.
Okay.
He was more about creating this this continuous flow of music.
Okay.
These lush, almost cinematic scores that kind of enveloped the drama.
Gotcha.
And he used this technique called leitmotifs.
Leitmotifs.
Yeah, which are these recurring musical themes.
Okay.
To create a sense of unity and deepen the emotional impact.
So it's like, if you hear this one melody, you know that, like,
Exactly.
That character.
You know exactly who it is.
Is experiencing
Yeah.
like love or loss.
It's like a secret language between the music and the listener.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's very effective.
So it's like he's giving the audience the key to unlock like the emotional depths.
The emotional world of the character.
Of these characters.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay, so we have Verdi,
right,
the master dramatist.
Yeah.
And Puccini,
The master of emotion.
the master of emotion.
Yeah.
And they're both shaping the future of opera.
Absolutely.
But for our listener, you know, who might be new to opera,
Right.
how do we help them grasp
Good
like the magic of these composers, like on a personal level?
Well, that's where those iconic arias come in.
Okay, the arias.
Yeah, like even if you've never been to an opera house in your life,
Right.
you've probably heard Nessun Dorma from Puccini's Turandot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
And La Donna è mobile from Verdi's Rigoletto.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're in like movies, commercials.
Yeah, you name it.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
Why do those arias in particular resonate so deeply?
Okay, so like with Nessun Dorma.
All right, so Nessun Dorma.
Yeah.
It's not just a beautiful melody.
Yeah.
It's this story of hope, defiance,
Okay.
and this unwavering love. You know, you hear Caliph sing those words, "No one shall sleep."
Yeah.
And you just feel his determination,
Right,
his
yeah.
passion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a moment of pure operatic adrenaline.
Yeah, operatic adrenaline.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, it's powerful.
What about La Donna è mobile?
All right, so La Donna è mobile,
Yeah.
it's deceptively simple,
Okay.
right? Catchy tune,
Yeah.
carefree message about, you know, fickle women.
Right.
But beneath that surface charm,
Okay.
there's a darkness there,
Oh, wow.
a foreshadowing of the Duke's downfall.
Interesting.
You know, and Verdi was just a master at weaving these layers of meaning into his music.
So even in these like short bursts of music, you can really hear.
You can hear their personalities.
Yeah, you can hear it. Like, you know, Verdi's dramatic force, Puccini's emotional intensity.
Exactly.
It's all right there.
It's all there.
But like, how did this impact opera?
Okay, so they weren't just composing operas, right?
They were shaping the future of the art form.
Okay.
And I think
their impact wasn't limited to, like, the opera house either.
No, not at all.
I mean, I'm really curious to hear
Yeah.
how their music kind of seeped into, like, our wider culture.
Absolutely.
But I think we'll save that for next time.
Okay, I'm good.
For now, I want to thank you.
You're welcome.
For helping me kind of unpack
Yeah, my pleasure.
this incredible world.
It is a fascinating world.
It is. It is of Italian opera.
Mm-hmm.
And to our listener, we'll be back soon. We're going to dig even deeper.
Okay, looking forward
to it. The specific operas of Verdi and Puccini.
Oh, wait.
We'll be exploring, you know, the stories, the characters, and, of course, more of this incredible music.
Can't wait.
So stay tuned.
All right.
We'll be back.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Verdi and Puccini.
Yeah, good to be back.
So last time, we were kind of setting the stage, right? We talked about 19th century Italy.
Yeah.
And how these composers weren't just writing music.
Right.
They were practically like channeling the soul of the nation.
They were shaping the national identity.
Yeah, exactly. And we also started to get a sense of like their different styles, right? So Verdi, the dramatist, Puccini, like the master of the heartstrings.
Yeah, the melodist for sure.
Yeah. But now I want to hear more of the music.
All right, let's do it.
Like, where should we start?
Let's jump into some specific operas.
Okay.
And, you know, you'll hear these stylistic differences loud and clear.
Okay.
We have to talk about Verdi's Rigoletto.
Okay, Rigoletto.
Yeah, this opera.
Yeah.
It's like a psychological thriller.
Oh, wow.
Set to music.
Okay.
You know, we mentioned it before, but the one with La Donna è mobile, I think there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, there's got to be.
Than just that catchy tune. So that aria, you know, it's sung by the Duke, and it's almost like a mask, you know.
Okay.
It's charming, lighthearted, but it hides this truly ruthless character. And then you have Rigoletto himself, who's, you know, the court jester.
Right.
And he's desperately trying to protect his daughter, Gilda, from this world of corruption.
Okay, so there's like a real tension between like the beauty of the music and then like the darkness of the story.
The darkness of the story, exactly.
So how does Verdi like balance those elements?
I mean, that's Verdi's genius.
Okay.
He uses the music to mirror those contradictions. Yeah. So you'll hear moments of incredible tenderness when Rigoletto is with Gilda, for example.
Right.
But then the music turns ominous.
Wow.
Almost menacing when the Duke is around.
Okay, so it's like shifting.
Yeah, it shifts.
It moves.
It follows the drama.
Wow.
You know, and Verdi doesn't shy away from ugliness. Yeah.
Both in the story and in the music.
Okay.
For example, listen to the storm scene in Act 3.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he uses the orchestra to depict the raging wind and thunder.
Okay.
It's almost as if nature itself is reflecting the chaos and the violence that's happening on stage.
Wow. So it's not just about like pretty melodies.
It's more than that.
Yeah.
It's about using the music to create a whole world of emotions and atmosphere.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, so does this like musical darkness, does it carry over into other works? Yeah. Like which ones?
La Traviata, for example.
La Traviata, okay.
So here we have Violetta, this courtesan, who falls deeply in love with Alfredo.
Okay.
But, you know, society condemns their relationship.
It's like the classic tale of forbidden love.
Absolutely.
It's a theme that, you know.
It's timeless.
Yeah, transcends like cultures and time periods. It really does. Yeah. And Verdi gives it such weight. I mean, he was so skilled at writing for the female voice.
Okay.
And Violetta's arias, they're just some of the most beautiful and heartbreaking in all of opera.
Okay.
But he also uses the music to expose the hypocrisy of the society that condemns her.
Oh, wow.
You know, listen to the chorus in Act 2 at Flora's party. Yeah. It's lively, frivolous, almost mocking Violetta's plight.
Oh, wow.
So Verdi, he's not just telling a love story. Yeah. He's critiquing societal norms.
He's making a statement.
Absolutely. That's incredible.
Yeah, he was a real social commentator.
It's amazing how he can pack so much into the music itself.
He really was a master.
Yeah. I'm starting to understand why you call him the dramatist.
Right. He had that gift for drama.
Are there any other operas that kind of
tons.
showcase this dramatic intensity?
We can't forget Aida.
Aida.
Imagine ancient Egypt.
Okay.
A love triangle.
Oh, wow.
Between an Ethiopian princess.
Okay.
An Egyptian general.
Gotcha.
And the pharaoh's daughter.
Okay.
And all of this is playing out against this backdrop of war.
Oh, wow.
And political intrigue.
Yeah, I've heard the Triumphal March from Aida.
It's amazing.
And it's so grand.
Yeah, it's spectacular.
It definitely conjures up like images of ancient Egypt.
Right.
Yeah.
But Verdi, he doesn't just use spectacle.
Okay.
You know, listen to Aida's arias.
Okay.
They're full of longing.
Yeah.
Heartbreak. This internal struggle between her love for Radames and her loyalty to her people.
Right, so she's torn.
Torn, exactly.
It's like that divided loyalty.
Yeah, he was a master at creating these moments of quiet intensity.
Yeah.
That are just as powerful as, you know, the big dramatic scenes.
Okay, so it's like he's showing us the full spectrum.
The full range of human emotions.
Yeah.
From, like, the grand gestures to, like...
Yeah, the intimate moments.
The intimate whispers of the heart.
Exactly.
Wow, okay, so that's Verdi.
All right, so that's Verdi.
I'm ready for a change of pace now.
Okay, good.
Let's talk Puccini.
All right, Puccini.
Give me a dose.
All right, that emotional.
To be swept away.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with La Bohème.
Okay, La Bohème.
Imagine a group of young artists living in poverty in Paris.
Gotcha.
And their lives are just filled with, you know, love, laughter.
Yeah.
But also, you know, the harsh realities of bohemian life.
So it's like this story could be told like...
It's timeless.
In any era.
Yeah, it's a universal story.
It's about like, you know, young creatives trying to make it...
The struggles and triumphs of...
Yeah. It's very relatable, even today.
Absolutely. And Puccini makes you feel every moment of it.
Wow.
I mean, the music is so immediate, so visceral.
You hear Rodolfo sing "C'è gelida manina."
C'è gelida manina. Right?
Which is this, you know, tender declaration of love to Mimi.
Okay.
And you're just instantly transported into their world.
Wow.
Puccini was just a master at capturing these these fleeting moments.
You keep saying fleeting moments. Like,
Yeah.
how does he do that?
He was a master of pacing atmosphere.
Yeah.
He uses the orchestra to create these lush, almost impressionistic soundscapes
Right.
that perfectly capture the mood
Wow.
of each scene.
It's like he's painting with sound.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
He's using music to evoke
Yeah.
emotions and imagery.
So does he use like any
Yeah.
specific techniques?
Oh, yeah, all sorts of things.
Oh,
One of his trademarks
Yeah.
was the use of these unresolved dissonances.
Unresolved dissonance.
Yeah, these chords
Yeah.
that create a sense of yearning or
Right.
tension, and he wouldn't always resolve them
Right.
in the traditional way, which
Wow.
kind of leaves the listener hanging,
Wanting more?
wanting more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also used these extended harmonies,
Extended harmonies.
which is basically, adding more notes to chords
Okay.
to create a richer, more complex sound.
Okay.
Think of it like adding more colors
Oh, right.
to a painter's palette.
Yeah, yeah. I got it.
It just gives him more options
Yeah.
to express subtle shades of emotion.
So he wasn't afraid to break the rules.
No, he was an innovator.
Yeah.
He pushed the boundaries of harmony,
Oh,
texture to
Yeah.
create this
Yeah.
more emotionally charged soundscape.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what other operas kind of
Mm-hmm.
showcase this? Like,
Oh, well, Tosca is a prime example.
okay, Tosca.
Yeah, it's a thriller.
A thriller set in Rome,
Wow.
full of political intrigue,
Yeah.
passionate love,
Yeah.
cold-blooded betrayal.
Wow, a thriller set to music.
That's a new one.
It's exciting. It's a real page turner.
So does he like
Mhm.
use the music
Oh, yeah.
to like enhance the suspense?
Absolutely. I mean, the orchestra becomes a character in itself,
Oh, wow.
driving the action forward,
Yeah.
foreshadowing danger,
Okay.
heightening the emotional tension.
Wow.
For example, listen to the Te Deum at the end of Act 1.
Okay, Te Deum.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
this grand,
Okay.
almost triumphant piece of music.
Yeah.
But underneath it all, there's this sense of unease.
Wow.
This feeling that something terrible is about to happen.
Okay.
And Puccini, he masterfully uses these
Yeah.
dissonances,
Right.
jarring rhythms,
Okay.
to create that underlying tension.
So even in the most beautiful music,
Yeah.
he's hinting at like,
The darkness,
yeah, just like,
lurking beneath the surface.
yeah, lurking beneath the surface.
He's a master at playing with our expectations,
Yeah. Okay.
keeping us on the edge of our seats.
Okay. What about
Right.
Madama Butterfly?
Madama Butterfly.
I know that one is like,
Oh, it's a tearjerker.
yeah, a real tearjerker.
But it's also incredibly beautiful.
Okay.
So you have Cho-Cho-san, this young geisha,
Okay.
and she falls in love with Pinkerton,
Okay.
this American naval officer.
Gotcha.
And, she gives up everything for him,
Yeah.
but he abandons her.
Oh, that's so sad.
It's heartbreaking.
I could see how that story would lend itself to like
Oh,
Puccini's like,
emotional intensity.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how does he
Mm.
use the music to
Right.
like,
He just pours all
bet.
of that emotion into the music.
okay.
So it's full of longing,
Yeah.
innocence,
Yeah.
a sense of fragility.
Okay.
Listen to the aria. Okay.
She's imagining Pinkerton's ship returning.
Yeah.
And the music is just so hopeful.
Right.
So full of love.
Yeah.
But knowing how the story ends,
It's almost unbearable to listen to.
it's like bittersweet.
It is.
Yeah.
But Puccini, he doesn't shy away.
He embraces it.
He embraces those raw emotions. He
Yeah.
lays them bare, letting the audience experience Butterfly's pain
Yeah.
as if it were their own.
So it's like he's tapping into these
Yeah.
universal emotions
These universal human experiences.
that like transcend time
Totally.
and culture.
That's why it continues to resonate
Yeah.
with audiences today. And, to heighten this emotional impact,
Okay.
he even weaves
Yeah.
Japanese folk melodies into the score.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which gives the music this unique flavor
Right.
that reflects Butterfly's,
Cultural background.
cultural background.
Yeah.
It adds another layer of depth to the storytelling.
So he's not just composing for like,
Right.
the Italian audience.
He's trying to capture the essence of another culture
Yeah.
through music.
That's so cool.
It's brilliant.
Okay. And he didn't stop there?
No, he didn't.
Puccini?
He was always pushing boundaries.
Right.
His final opera, Turandot,
Turandot.
takes us to ancient China.
Oh, yeah. So
So-
there's this one with Nessun Dorma.
Exactly.
That aria has taken on a life of its own.
It really has.
Right.
Yeah, it's become this anthem of hope, defiance.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
But within the opera, it's this moment of pure operatic adrenaline.
Yeah. You said that earlier.
It is.
Operatic adrenaline.
Caliph, the prince.
Yeah.
He's just solved Turandot's riddles.
Okay.
And he's basically declaring his love for her.
Got it.
And the music just soars.
Yeah.
The orchestra thunders.
Okay.
You can't help but be swept away by it.
Wow. So it's like
powerful stuff.
Yeah, a fitting finale.
Yeah.
For a composer who wasn't afraid.
Right.
To embrace
grandeur.
Yeah, grandeur and spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
But Turandot was
sadly, yes,
left unfinished. Right. How does that even work?
So Puccini died before he could complete the final scene.
Oh.
But luckily, he left behind sketches and notes.
Okay.
And so his colleague, Franco Alfano, he used those materials to finish the opera.
Wow.
So it's not exactly what Puccini intended.
Right.
But it gives us a glimpse into what could have been.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a fascinating story.
Okay, so we have these 4 incredible operas from Puccini, each kind of showcasing his ability to
weave emotion and drama.
Yeah, weave emotion and drama
into the music. Yeah.
But I'm starting to wonder, with all their differences, did Verdi and Puccini
That's a great question.
share any common ground?
They were both masters of their craft.
Okay.
Both deeply committed to pushing the boundaries of opera.
Right.
But also honoring its traditions.
And they both left behind a legacy.
An incredible legacy.
Yeah.
That continues to inspire and move audiences.
Today.
To this day.
But I think we need to delve deeper.
Okay, yeah.
Into that legacy.
Let's do it.
How did these 2 composers change the course of opera?
Big question.
Yeah, and what is it about their music that continues to resonate more than a century later?
Those are great questions.
They are.
And they deserve a deep dive of their own.
Yeah, they do. All right, so welcome back to our deep dives into the world of Verdi and Puccini.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has.
I mean, we've covered so much ground.
We have. We've explored, their lives, their music.
We even dove into
specific operas.
We did. So
it's been fun.
It has. But before we wrap up, I kind of want to understand, the bigger picture.
Yeah, the big picture.
How did Verdi and Puccini, change the course of opera? What did they bring to the table that was so revolutionary? Well, one of the biggest shifts was in character development.
Okay, character development, how so?
So, before Verdi and Puccini opera characters, they were often larger-than-life figures,
Okay.
almost archetypes rather than fully fleshed out.
Okay, so more stock characters from
yeah, exactly,
commedia dell'arte.
Yeah,
then complex individuals.
Totally. Yeah, it was more about the voice.
Okay.
And less about the inner life of the character. Okay. And Verdi and Puccini, they brought psychological depth to opera.
So it's kind of like the difference between a 2-dimensional cartoon character.
Exactly.
Than a real
person.
A character in a psychological novel.
Exactly. Yeah. Their characters have flaws. They make mistakes. They experience, this full range of emotions.
But it's not enough for a character.
No.
To just have a beautiful voice.
Right.
They have to have a soul.
They need to have a soul. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So can you give me an example?
Sure.
Of how one of them achieved this?
Think about Violetta. In Verdi's La Traviata.
Okay.
She's not just a tragic heroine.
Right.
She's this complex woman caught between,
societal
expectations and her own desires.
Yeah.
We see her strength.
Okay.
Her vulnerability, her internal conflicts.
Right.
And Verdi does this through the music itself.
Okay, how so?
Her arias, they reveal so much about her inner life.
So the music becomes a tool.
A tool for storytelling.
For revealing character, not just for creating beautiful sounds.
It's more than just pretty tunes. Yeah. It's about expressing the soul of the character.
Okay, did Puccini take a similar approach?
Yeah, he did, but Puccini, he had this knack for capturing these...
those fleeting moments.
Those fleeting moments of emotion, you know? Yep. Little details that make his characters feel so real.
Right.
Think about Mimi.
Yeah.
In La Bohème.
Yeah.
We see her joy. her fear, her fragility, and Puccini uses the orchestra, the harmonies, even the silences to paint these incredibly nuanced portraits.
So it's like he's using the music to
zoom in
on the human experience.
Exactly. The beauty and the heartbreak of everyday life.
Yeah, okay, but they also revolutionized the way
they did
music was used in opera, right?
Absolutely. I mean, they both expanded the role of the orchestra.
Okay, in what way?
So it became a storytelling force.
Okay.
Not just accompaniment.
So instead of the orchestra just playing along
in the background,
it's like
it's an active participant in the drama, creating moods, foreshadowing events.
But it's a character in itself.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, think about the storm scene in Rigoletto.
Yeah, Rigoletto again.
The way Verdi uses the orchestra to depict the wind, the thunder, the chaos. It's almost cinematic.
Wow.
And then you have Puccini, who was known for these lush orchestrations.
Right.
He used the orchestra to create these incredibly rich, evocative soundscapes that just heighten the emotional impact of the drama.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Listen to the love duet from Act 1 of Madama Butterfly.
Okay, love duet.
It's so sweeping, so romantic.
Okay.
The music just washes over you.
Wow. Okay, so they both understood that the orchestra could be...
It could be so much more.
So many more than just background music.
Background music, yeah. It could be a character, a narrator, a force of nature.
But their individual styles were still distinct.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So if Verdi was the master of dramatic structure.
Yes, the architect of drama.
Puccini was...
the poet of the heart.
The poet of the heart.
Yeah, he had that lyrical gift.
So if Verdi is the opera equivalent of, Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Puccini's more like a
romantic poet.
Romantic poet, yeah.
Yeah, I like that analogy. They each brought their own strengths to the table.
And together, they helped to shape
a new era of opera.
Absolutely. And their impact didn't stop there, right?
No, not at all.
Because their music has,
it's transcended
the
opera house. It's become part of our culture.
You hear Verdi and Puccini everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah. Movies, TV shows, commercials.
Sporting events.
You name it.
It's their melodies have become
they're part of our
collective consciousness.
Collective consciousness.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's the emotional power.
The emotional power.
Of their music.
Yeah.
Whether it's the soaring melodies of Puccini or the dramatic intensity of Verdi.
Yeah.
Their music speaks to something deep within us.
Right. It's like a universal language.
It is.
That transcends words.
Absolutely. It connects us to our own emotions.
Yeah.
Our own experiences of love.
Right.
Loss. Joy, sorrow.
It's like their music gives a voice.
Yeah.
To feelings that we might not even be able to express ourselves.
Right. And I think that's why their operas continue to be performed, all over the world, why their music continues to move and inspire us.
Right.
Why they continue to be relevant even today.
It's incredible to think that,
I know.
Composers, writing over a century ago.
Over 100 years ago.
Could have
such a lasting impact.
Such a profound, lasting impact on the world.
It's a testament to their genius.
So for our listener who's, now eager to explore this world of Verdi and Puccini, where should they begin?
Well, I always recommend experiencing opera live.
Okay, live opera.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like it, but I know that's not always possible.
Right, because tickets can be pricey. And it can be a little intimidating.
Yeah, it can be.
To walk into an opera house.
Especially for the first time.
For the first time, yeah.
So if you're not ready for that, start with recording.
Recordings, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've mentioned some iconic arias.
Yeah, like...
Nessun dorma.
Right, Nessun dorma.
La donna è mobile, Visidart.
Yeah.
But there are so many more to discover.
Yeah.
Just find a recording, you put on some headphones.
Yeah.
And just let the music wash over you.
That's great advice, and there are tons of resources online.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You can find,
full-length opera recordings on YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Or you can stream them through,
Spotify,
Apple Music.
Apple Music, yeah.
There's so much out there.
And once you've like familiarized yourself with the music,
right,
I encourage you to seek out a live performance.
Absolutely. It's an experience you won't forget.
Yeah, it's really transformative.
It is.
Okay, well, I think we've given our listener a solid foundation.
A good starting point.
For understanding and appreciating the genius of Verdi and Puccini.
It's been a pleasure.
It really has.
Exploring their world with you.
Likewise, and for our listener, I encourage you to continue this journey.
Keep exploring.
Dive into their operas.
Listen to their music.
Read about their lives.
Yeah.
The world of Verdi and Puccini.
It's a rich world.
It is. It is rich and rewarding. And I have a feeling you'll discover, like, a whole new level.
A whole new appreciation.
For this incredible art form.
Okay. So until next time, happy listening.